Imagine standing on a dusty Mesopotamian battlefield 5,000 years ago. You have a wooden spear. It's reliable, it has reach, but the moment your enemy steps inside your guard, the moment that wooden shaft splinters into pieces, you are defenseless. Now imagine holding something revolutionary, a weapon that doesn't break when it strikes bone, a blade long enough to keep your enemy at bay, but short enough to wield in a chaotic, bloody crush of bodies.
For hundreds of thousands of years, early humans fought with rocks, clubs, and sharpened sticks. But at a certain point in human history, someone looked at a clumsy dagger, looked at a pool of molten metal, and decided to change the scale of warfare forever. How did ancient humans actually invent the sword?
And more importantly, how did a simple tool for butchering animals evolve into the ultimate symbol of power, status, and death? Let's find out.
To understand the invention of the sword, we first have to understand what came before it. For most of human history, weapon technology was limited by what nature provided. Our ancestors had flint, obsidian, wood, and bone. If you wanted to hunt a mammoth, you used a heavy wooden spear tipped with stone. If you got into a close-quarters brawl, you used a hand axe or a primitive dagger. But daggers had a massive flaw: reach. If your enemy is standing just 3 feet away, a dagger forces you to lunge dangerously close.
And stone had an even bigger flaw: fragility. Flint and obsidian are razor sharp, but they are brittle. If you strike a heavy bone or a shield too hard, your blade shatters. Ancient weapon makers faced a strict engineering wall. If you try to make a stone dagger twice as long, it snaps under its own weight the second you swing it. To build a longer, deadly hand weapon, humans needed something entirely new. They needed alchemy. They needed metallurgy.
Around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, humanity entered the Chalcolithic, or Copper Age. Deep in the earth, ancient miners discovered strange, heavy rocks that turned into liquid metal when exposed to intense heat. At first, copper was used to make shiny ornaments and small, soft daggers. Copper was a massive upgrade from stone because it didn't shatter. Instead, it bent. But copper had its own problem. It was too soft. A copper dagger would warp into a useless U-shape after hitting a hard target a few times. Then came the masterstroke of ancient engineering: bronze.
By accident or brilliant experimentation, ancient metallurgists, likely in the regions of the Middle East and Anatolia, discovered that mixing copper with about 10% tin created bronze. Bronze was harder, more durable, and crucially, it could be cast in molds and hammered to hold a sharp edge. And this is where the sword was born. The sword was not invented in a single dramatic flash. It was an evolution. Smiths realized they could take the standard dagger design and simply stretch the blade. Archaeological evidence points us toward the ancient Sumerians of Mesopotamia, around 3000 BCE. In the royal tombs of Ur, archaeologists uncovered some of history's earliest true swords. These weren't just long daggers anymore. They were engineered cutting and thrusting weapons, designed to pierce armor and slice through flesh in organized warfare.
Once the secret of the sword was unlocked, every major civilization rushed to design their own version, tailoring the weapon to their unique style of warfare. In ancient Egypt, warriors forged the khopesh, a terrifying hybrid between a battle axe and a sickle. It was curved specifically to hook around an enemy's shield and pull it out of the way. In ancient Greece, hoplites carried the xiphos, a short, leaf-shaped sword meant for thrusting into the tight gaps of an enemy phalanx. And later, the Romans perfected mass production with the gladius, a short, brutal iron sword designed to win an empire.
Each culture tweaked the length, curve, and weight distribution,
moving from brittle bronze into the grueling trials of the Iron Age, where steel finally allowed blades to become longer, stronger, and sharper than ever before.
The invention of the sword didn't happen because one genius woke up and drew it on a stone tablet. It was forged through thousands of years of human trial and error, born from the limitation of a wooden stick, unlocked by the discovery of molten metal, and perfected by the competitive fire of rising civilizations. It changed how we fought, how we ruled, and how history was written. If you enjoyed diving into the dark and fascinating origins of ancient weaponry, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite historical sword? See you next time.